You know something is wrong. You have known for weeks. Maybe it's a number in your bank account, on a scale, in a test result you haven't opened. Maybe it's a conversation you keep not starting. The information exists. It is one tap away. And every day you choose not to look. Not because you're lazy, not because you forgot, because your brain did the math and decided that not knowing feels safer than knowing. That decision has a name. It is called the ostrich effect. And the ostrich doesn't do it. Your brain runs a threat detection system. It evolved to keep you alive in an environment where threats were physical. A predator, a cliff, a storm. That system has one core rule. If something predicts danger, avoid it. The rule is fast. It runs below conscious thought. And for 100,000 years, it worked. Here is where it misfires. In the modern world, threats are informational. The danger is a diagnosis, a debt, a market crash. The threat is not the thing itself. It is the moment you learn about the thing. And the brain cannot tell the difference. It treats the notification the same way it would treat the predator. Not, there is a problem, fix it. Instead, there is a signal that predicts pain. Avoid the signal. Dan Galai and Galai Sade named this in 2006. They called it the ostrich effect. Their finding, investors will pay a measurable premium for the right to not know how their money is doing. The mechanism is simple. Step 1. You have a piece of information available, a test result, a portfolio balance, a message you haven't read. Step 2. Your brain estimates the emotional cost of learning the content. Step 3. If the estimated cost is high, if the news is likely bad, the brain activates avoidance. You delay. You swipe away. You tell yourself you'll check later. Step 4. The problem does not pause while you avoid it. The debt grows. The tumor grows. The market continues to fall. The information would have changed your behavior. The avoidance prevents the behavior change. That is the misfire. You are not avoiding the problem. You are avoiding the signal that would let you respond to the problem. Carlson, Lowenstein, and CPE tested this in 2009 on 40,000 Swedish investors. In falling markets, investors checked their portfolios roughly a third less often than in rising markets. The worse things got, the less they looked. This is not irrationality. This is a system doing exactly what it was built to do, minimizing exposure to signals that predict pain. Sweeney, Melnick, Miller, and Shepard published a meta-analysis in 2010 cataloging the reasons people avoid information. 5 reasons showed up everywhere. 1. The information demands a change in belief. If you check the account, you can no longer believe you're doing fine. 2. The information threatens your identity. Knowing you are sick changes who you are. 3. The information increases anxiety, and the brain would rather have a vague unease than a sharp fact. 4. The information triggers regret. You should have acted sooner, and now you know it. 5. The information breaks your optimism. Not knowing lets you keep hoping. All 5 run on the same principle. Learning the truth has a cost that the brain can feel in advance, and the brain is built to flinch from costs it can predict. Emily Oster studied this in the most extreme case she could find, Huntington's disease. A genetic test, free, perfectly predictive. If you carry the gene, you will develop the disease. No ambiguity. Fewer than 10% of at-risk people choose to be tested. They prefer not to know the single most important medical fact about their own future. So, what breaks the avoidance? First, honesty about the asymmetry. Knowing is painful once. Not knowing is painful repeatedly because the brain still suspects the truth. It just refuses to confirm it. The anxiety you feel about the unopened result does not go away because you left it unopened. It loops. Second, structure. The most effective intervention in the literature is not willpower. It is a scheduled, automatic information check that removes the decision point. Automatic deposits, automatic portfolio reports, automatic screening reminders. The brain avoids when it has to choose. Remove the choice, and the avoidance collapses. Third, and this matters, roughly 20% of people do not show the ostrich effect. Sickerman and colleagues found that about 1 in 5 investors check more during downturns, not less. They called this the meerkat effect. The difference is not intelligence. It is tolerance for bad news. The meerkat investors were not smarter. They had learned, through practice or temperament, to sit with the discomfort of knowing. The ostrich effect is named after a myth. Pliny the Elder wrote in 77 AD that ostriches hide their heads in sand when threatened. They do not. They lower their heads to tend eggs, or to eat, or to press flat against the ground to avoid being seen by predators. We named a real human failing after a fictional animal behavior, and never checked. That is the ostrich effect, applied to the ostrich effect. You believed a 2,000-year-old piece of information without verifying it, because it sounded right and no one corrected you, and checking felt unnecessary. The irony is structural. The misfire runs all the way down. What are you not looking at right now? Not the things you've forgotten, the things you know exist and are choosing not to check. A balance, a scan, a message, a relationship where you already know the answer but have not asked the question. Your brain is doing you a favor. It is shielding you from the pain of knowing. But the thing behind the notification does not care whether you read it. It will keep growing. It will keep compounding. It will keep being true. The only thing that changes when you look is whether you can still do something about it. The ostrich stands in full sun, head up, eyes open. It is never hidden from anything. You named your avoidance after the wrong animal. Every week, another misfire, another signal your brain decided you were better off not seeing. Subscribe. The next one might be the notification you've been swiping away.